field. Now it's all in play. Glory's call in the all-star fray. 12 dreams clash. It's the league showcase. Glory's chase. Feel the ground shake. You stand tall. Never fear the climb. All for one. And it's game time. In the stands. Hear the roaring crowds. Wearing colors. We're standing proud. 12 teams fight under the spotlight's rays. Glory's night in the all-star blaze. Sweat and toil on this hallowed turf. One will rise.
Good evening, All Stars. I have absolutely no clue why the Duck has decided to make an appearance. What the fuck's happening here? Turn the fucking Duck off. Where we at? What the fuck's going on here? Good evening, All Stars. Hope you're all well. We might be fucking stuck with the Duck here all night. You know, we might be stuck with the Duck all night. Where we at? Bubble. Boys, I have got no idea what the fuck's going on. We might be stuck with a Duck here. Are we stuck with a Duck? Are we genuinely stuck with a Duck? We're stuck with a Duck. Got no fucking clue what the hell is happening here. Yeah, so apologies, boys. We've got the Duck joining us tonight, which I know Dimble is going to be thrilled about. So let me just see if we can. There we go. We have removed the Duck. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're well. Welcome to this Wednesday night double header. So, Roxy, it is a double header in terms of game week fixtures. So you will have to hang around for your second fixture. But just before we start tonight, bit of housekeeping really, in that Mega Horse has stepped back from the Des Moines Demons. A massive part of the All Stars, huge part of the CMO 102 community. And the door will always be open. Bring back the Duck. The door will be always open for the Mega Horse. And yeah, he goes with a typically Mega Horse stat file, really, which is almost scoring as much as he's conceded. And obviously, probably RIP the creativity and ingenuity that we've seen over the last season and a half or so. And he goes with absolutely. Yeah, we were nearly the Mallard League, mate. Or what was the other one? The Masters. I've still got to return all them green jackets. So Horse, we love you, mate. And we wish you all the best. But before we do get stuck into it, we are 5/6 games into the game week, and obviously for those of you that are familiar with the All Stars, we have 3 conferences split into 4 teams: the East, the Central, and the Western. With 4 teams in it who play every other team in the league in a round robin. And essentially, this is how we stand after 5/6 games. The MLS likes to throw up the odd game week where some teams don't play. So we do have the Memphis Reigns, the ominous looking Memphis Reigns, at the top of the league, led by Sam on the Rocks, who do have 12 points after 5 games, which is a pretty fantastic start for the Memphis Reigns. Bison's last year's champions do find themselves in second, having played a game more than Memphis Reigns, but finding themselves on the same points Tate will be looking to continue where he's left off the last couple of games in a while. Detroit Drivetrain, everybody's kind of second favourite team in the league, really, given the tactical ingenuity of Mike Savage, playing those three strikers up top with the double backward arrows. Then the New York Dandies find themselves in fourth. Did struggle for the vast majority of the season last season, but has brought in some big names and does seem to be having an impact. Pelham Pumas, led by Sam Dimble. He's always competitive in just about every champ competition he enters, finds himself in fifth. In the West End, the Des Moines Demons. So anybody out there who is thinking about coming into the All Stars League, yeah, I seen it, Steve. I seen it that you wanted it like that. Good lad. Anybody who is thinking about coming into it, you are inheriting a side that are in the playoff hunt early doors and have got some big names, led by none other than Maxim Sigalgo as well. Alaska Vikings in seventh, Gators in eighth, and then below the dotted line, who would not be qualifying for the playoffs if essentially the playoffs happen tomorrow, would be the Steam Pigs, who were last year's kind of top scorers, most interesting team, most kind of prolific team in front of goals. Alcatraz, Short Pump, and El Logo Fire, which will be kind of no surprise, really. They have been struggling for just a little while. So we will get into it tonight. Without further ado, we are doing a double game week. So we're going to have this round of fixtures tonight. The Memphis Rains against the Drivetrain, big heavyweight clash at the top of the table. That Vikings against the Bisons, that is one of last year's semi-finals. Dandies against the El Loco Fire, Pelham against the Alcatraz, Gators against Steam Pigs, and Short Pump against Des Moines. I have seen Roxy in the chat, and we are going to go to his high-flying Memphis Rains. So a bit of momentum building there for Wolfie for Des Moines. He has expressed an interest, but yet to have a kind of formal application in the DM. So Wolfie, you need to drop in there, mate. So the Memphis Rains are 4 from 5, and they do find themselves being really good at the back, and actually, finding the back of the net more often than not, led by none other than Christian Vieri, and that is who leads the line tonight, with Kuhl and Raul behind him. Kufra comes in for the injured Cordoba, and Milito comes to his place on the bench. Their opponents tonight are, as I've said, everybody's kind of probably second favourite team in the league, given the flat four in the midfield, which is unusual in competitive champ, and then 3 strikers up top with the 2 backward arrows of Del Vecchio and Scholes. Savage, if you can just sense check that for me, mate, because Savage has been a bit ravaged by injuries over the last few game weeks, mainly since the last time he was in the chat on the stream. And he said, I've been quite lucky and I haven't been hampered by any injuries. And then he's really been missing. It's this midfield where he's really been missing. He's yet to really have Gerard, Scally, and Giannichetta in for a run of games consistently, as one tends to be suspended while the other is injured, and so on and so forth. And again, probably the cult hero at the moment in the All-Stars is Kenny Cunningham, who does come in for his second start, I believe, or his second appearance, first start in the All-Stars. And these are 2 heavyweight teams. You really will be hard pressed to decide who is going to win this, but we will kick off here tonight. Predictions in the chat, if you can be bothered. That Drivetrain away kit looks sexy. Thierry Henry with a chance puts it wide. He's at the centre of everything that the Drivetrain do. Drivetrain seem as though they're dominating the ball a little bit here. Del Vecchio puts it wide, but here is the clinical Vieri. Brilliant tackle at the back. Recoba goes out from the throw. Thierry Henry again with another shot. George Jatos, who's been massive for the Memphis Rains over the last few weeks as they lead the table. Tato's Bisons will, of course, be watching on with interest. If they were to win tonight and the Memphis Rains were to drop points, the Bisons would go back to the top of the league despite a pretty shaky start. 44 minutes played. Rivaldo at the centre of everything there, whipping in balls for fun. And there is Thierry Henry. He was ever present during the text, and that is a big goal within the context of the league. Look at all that text from 45 minutes onwards. Scholes headed the ball on. Scholes assist, picked up by Henry. Henry blasts it in, and it's 1-0 to the Drivetrain. The ratings, however, don't look particularly impressive, but pretty solid away from home. And it's that man, Giannichetta, who really is. Giannichetta and Maravicchia are both really asserting themselves as top quality players at this level. Although Maravicchia isn't really doing much tonight, but who can blame him when he's been fantastic for a long time. Over at the Memphis Rains, Roxy was in the chat. We've got a kind of block of 6s there. Vieri not offering much, but Kuhl and Raul are trying, more so Kuhl than Raul. It's an as is from Savage, so we will just have a little bit of a look He does make the change, swap Kuhl and Raoul and bring on Hersey for Raoul. Brilliant, gents. Cheers. I appreciate that. It's an as is from the Savman. Evening, Scotty. Just seen you drop in there, mate. Hope you're well. Scotty going one of my favourite champ formations tonight. So really, really looking forward to seeing how that goes. Unfortunately, it's against me, but we'll see. Gerald goes into the book, 50 minutes played. Drivetrain again coming out the blocks, just controlling the game, controlling the ball, trying to really get on top of this. 56 minutes played. We will go to the 60-minute click, and that's Kenny Cunningham into the book with a booking. Bookings for Cunningham, Janet Cheddar, and Stevie G. Why is Costanzo at 6? Because of the way that Rox builds his tactic files, Wolfie, and you need to watch yourself criticising it out loud, otherwise you'll be in the crosshairs of Rox. Savage, there's your stats and conditions, mate. We will go over to the Memphis Reigns, who for the first time this season, even though they have kind of lost a game, first time this season at home, kind of behind and having to change something at 60. Juan Gomez, who has been, I think he's top of the individual player stats in the league, who's been phenomenal for the Memphis Reigns, do find themselves 1-0. Will he sacrifice one of those DMs? He goes as is, absolute faith in the tactic file. We will go back to Sav. If anybody's got a beer open tonight, let me know what you're on. I am on the Cobras. A little bit of a midweek lift. Del Vecchio and scores to AMCs with no arrows is a formation move that Savage has been doing quite a bit over the last few weeks. A cheer on for Drivetrain in the chat there from Tato. No surprises, wanting to have the opportunity. Nesta goes into the book that I think is 5 bookings now for the Drivetrain. 73 minutes played. Recover with a booking. I think we are into 91 minutes. Are we going to go to extra time? Final whistle. And the Drivetrain get an absolutely massive 3 points over the line against the informed side in the league in what is a 50-50 glass of red from Jens, course mate, classy. In what is a kind of 50-50, and I'm absolutely sure that both of those teams will be in the playoffs come the end of the season. 4 bookings, not 5 for the Drivetrain, but it is Nesta and Cunningham. So they have been busy at the back there, as well as Jenna Cheddar in that DMC position, really trying to mop things up. What a surprise. There is a Juan Gomez man of the match again, but unfortunately not on the winning side. And you'd expect that if you take those match stats, either side could have won that 1-0, but it is the Drivetrain that do it tonight. Over to the newly managerless Des Moines Demons. So in memory of Horse, we do keep this formation alive. So for anybody watching on, there are some big players in this Des Moines Demons side. So we're certainly not coming into the league in a position of weakness. Volodenkov, Paredes, Yepes, Bauma, Dyer, and of course that man, Maxim Sigalko, who funnily enough has just really started to get going in the colours of the Drivetrain, even though he did get 8 in 13 last season. Their form started up and down, but they have been putting together a few wins, and they do find themselves top of their Western Conference. And Rob Sloth says he's the first team to get beat by someone without a manager. Record baking. Pompous, of course, Rob is a chef, but I don't believe for 1 second that was a deliberate misspelling. Roberto, if you can just sense check that, mate, and just have a little look. See if that's all right, because I know you made a few changes and no arrows on the MC. Sloths have went from the 3 up top to the 2 AMCs, the kind of Northern Burn Trident, as I like to call it. Brilliant, Rob, mate. Best of luck to both of you in memory of Horsey. So we will just have 1 minute silence for Horse. Of course, we'll fucking not. We're playing a 20-year-old game. The Short Pump Sloths get themselves underway. Ayala straight into the book. Rob Sloth is well aware of what my thoughts are on Ayala. Liability. And there is Ibrahim Saeed, who is probably the manager's favourite player, the ex-manager's favourite player in this 11. So it's only fitting. And you'd imagine that he'd kind of pull his T-shirt up to something like RIP Horse underneath it. As the Short Pump Sloths do just come into the game just a little bit more. Ferdinand into the boot now. Centre half on each side. And Sigalko can't gather it there to put it in the back of the net. Ayala on a booking, and he's made a couple of dodgy tackles. Is he going to see red? Fine save from the Des Moines team, but he isn't going to see red because he's off, and he's off on 46 minutes. It's almost like I'm right to call him a liability. We're going to bring his other liability on, Georgie Costa, and just wait for Rob to confirm that in the chat. So a tweet from Football Manager 2025 earlier on. I don't know if you boys seen it, but no international management in FM25, and it's been delayed to like November. It's in the bin. We do go Costa, and we get to half time, and again, pretty much another even game, but it is the Des Moines Demons that have been clinical with Saeed. 6 is there for some big players. Ferdinand on a 6 with a booking is a little bit of a worry, and they do go straight away. Guerrero off, Saha on, and 3 up top. It did surprise us a little bit that Julian Guerrero came back into the side. And there are the Des Moines Demons stats for the millions and millions and millions of fans at home. But we will not make any changes unless absolutely necessary. Interestingly, Saeed's done very little with the ball other than put it in the back of the net. 45 minutes played. Are they going to get a second? Sure, Pumps needs something in the next kind of 10 minutes or so, either side of the 60-minute click. And there is Salas, who puts it wide. 55 minutes played. Pressure coming from the short pump sloths. Corner kick. We get to the click on the corner. We won't make any changes because there doesn't look to be any issues there. And over to the short pump boys with the Goochland tactic. Salihamidzic still on a 6, but Ferdinand's asserted himself with a 7. Will he bring some of those midfielders off? Kesman for Del Piero. How's Kesman looking? Oh, he looks great with the 20 finishing and the 17 flair, but what's his best output? 3 from 7, 6 subs. So yeah, Rob goes for it, and the short pump will be trying to get themselves back into the game. And there is Maxime, his 5th goal of the season. Now, just remember, Rob Sloth, short pump Sloths, started the season with a win and a draw and have not won since. Sigalko, is he going to get a second? Volodenkov, Paredes, Dyer. Paredes now back in there running the show. Is Sigalko going to put them to bed? And I think short pump Sloths had a decent amount of chances there. They did. Who was the guilty party? Who was off target? Salas hit the target once from 3. Yeah, just really wasteful. Really, really wasteful. Rob, if you want Shevchenko, mate, come and get him, but you're going to have to pay the price, bud. And over to the Des Moines Demon, who do their ex-manager proud. Milled, Saeed, and Volodenkov at the core of everything they did. Over to the Gators v the Steam Pigs. This is Kitchen Dan against Steve Wright. Dan, who has turned it around over the last couple of weeks after a pretty awful season 1 and a pretty crap start of season 2, but is now chasing 3 wins from 4, chasing 4 wins from 5 if he's to win tonight. And this is 3 DMCs against 3 DMCs. So it's not surprising to see 2 managers who maybe haven't had form going to what is probably the meta in terms of champ at the minute. And they do tee off against each other. This is how the Steam Pigs go. They do drop Imar in rather than the 2 up top with the 1 AMC. And I did just check it before stream. I thought Milewski must have been on the left, but Keane is capable of assisting and creating, so he does give him that DMC arrow. Steve, you want to come back in for Shevchenko, mate? He's there waiting for you. Big game this. Both managers, where were they? Let's just have a little look in the context of the overall league. Steam Pigs and the Gators are within 3 points of each other. So the Gators can open up a 6-point gap, albeit with a game more played than the Steam Pigs if they are to win this. Let's note in the chat who's going to get the win, if you can be asked, as we do kick off with the best away kit in the league. Clive it with a half a chance, puts it over the bar. Great football by Gators is the comment, and Penza into the book. I think that was. And there is Penza putting the ball over the bar. Shearer with the ball over the bar. There's headers aplenty, and there is Vicente Lizarazu in his first appearance from the club, with a big goal at the Steam Pigs. Will put them level with Gators, having played a game less. Oh, and it's went from very good to very bad. He does have that in him, Lizarazu. He can go on a bit of a run where he becomes a little bit of a liability injury wise. And yeah, we'll see what Steve wants to do. You'd maybe think Milevski to DMLC and Zanoni into DMRC maybe. Can't really go narrow, so we'll just see what Steve wants to do there. He was playing an 8 as well. Goal, no booking, 8. Jens rolling out the carpet for Imar. Wants to come home. I will just wait for Steve. I know he's busy with his son, so in the event that Steve says otherwise in the next couple of seconds. Oh, there we go. Give us a second. No worries. Just see what Steve wants to do. It might well be a system change or a formations change. As I get an offer straight away from Rob Sloth for Andriy Shevchenko, which doesn't quite cut the mustard. You have to up your offer there, Rob, mate. Totti ML Zanoni on. Where's he at? And swap Imar. There we go. Okay, lovely, brilliant. And we will get to half time. I can't imagine there'll be any changes from Steve on the back of that, really, as we do get to half time. And again, another 50-50 game. I said to the lads in the WhatsApp the other night that I don't think I've been part of a competitive Champ League that is quite so competitive ever, really, over at the Steam Pigs. Again, bookings are plenty here tonight. Roy Keane on a yellow will be a worry. Klompe also has that in him as well. But it's unlikely that Steve's going to be making changes given one was enforced. Over at the Gators, who don't find themselves in the book, but also haven't really generated many shots on target. Just a quick look at what Dan may do here at halftime. May go as is. And we could potentially see at some point one of the DMCs pushing up with 2 and a 1 in there. It's a play on from Dan. And we'll see what Steve wants to do. Steve wants to go as is. So we will go to 60 with Gators really needing to score the second goal as we get to 49 minutes. Big save from Shearer. And there is Shearer who puts it in the back of the net. Oh, and Shearer gets 2. Devastating cross by someone. I think it may have been Steve's boy Contra. Look at all those 8s. 2 Alan Shearer headers, it seemed, out of the blue. And the Steam Pigs are back. But look at that. Pablo Imar really not contributing at all. Will we get people banging Steve's door down trying to get a deal done for Imar over at the Gators, who are likely to have to make a change? Raquelme for Petrov. Up to MC. I'm guessing you want to straighten those out, Dan, mate. If you can just let us know what you want to do. Yeah, Tero, I agree. Brilliant overall performance. Really away from home this is as well. Against the Gators side that were 3 from 4 and looking to go 4 from 5. Yeah, it's a bit of a statement. So yeah, we will go to full time with those changes and a stay right as is. I think I'm one of the minority really that has long maintained that season 1, season 2, Shearer has absolutely got an ability to do a job, and he's demonstrating it tonight. It wouldn't surprise us if he gets a hat trick here tonight. And the Gators do. Brugging, who was a favourite of Steve, to be fair, does get his team back into the game. But have they got anything else? Oh, and there is Imar. There he is. He's put in a 6, but he's popped up with a goal, and that is a comprehensive victory for Steve. And look at those chances that they created in that second half. Almost tripled. Well, it did triple their chances, and the clinical Shearer gets man of the match. The Steam Pigs are alive and well. Jens, if you can just let me know what that deal is, because obviously I've been through DMs doing team submissions, so I can process that. Massive performance from Steve, and free scoring. Steam Pigs are back. 5 for Marcos. I know that the Gators were looking to potentially shift Buffon But now they might have another issue with Marcos now catching a case of the Buffons. Well played, Steve. Unlucky Dan. Over to Pelham against Alcatraz. Hopkins' Pelham do make a couple of changes. A couple of minor injuries, really, the biggest of which is Collins, who Nicky Ferenko returns. And Pippo is up top. Over at the Pelham boys, same tactic file, but a couple of little minor tweaks in personnel. So we do have Vogel into MC with Danielson ML. Kaladze comes in, and of course, Joe Cole is out for the week. Dimble's Pelham, who have been probably above okay, not quite as good as we'd want, but still in that hunt for the top sides. Cheers, Dims. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. Good spot. And we will roll to 45. Be a lot of backing on a coupon here for. No, you spotted it, mate. You spotted it. Is that right? Were you saying Festival Captain, mate? You spotted it before I did. I didn't see it was going to auto generate from Taibbi. So just let us know you're happy with that before I click. It would probably be as close to a home bank as you could imagine this, I think, on a coupon. But the Alcatraz have pulled off many famous upset. Against Dandies the other week, they pulled off an offset away from home. Vogel now. Even 8 minutes in, his name is appearing a hell of a lot in the text. Swinging the corner in that time. Can the Alcatraz get something going? A little bit more yellow in the text there. Vitabaya. Hopkins has maintained faith with Vitabaya after a couple of shaky performances. But it is 0-0 at 20 minutes in, and Alcatraz will be thinking if they can just grow into this game. David's into the box, who has been phenomenal for the Alcatraz. Nicky Ferenko with a half a chance. It feels as though there's a goal coming here. And if I was to put money on it, I'd say it feels as though it's Alcatraz. Nicky Ferenko puts one wide. Zambrotta, who again has been really good for the Alcatraz. And there is Ronaldinho. Hopkins knows better than most just how brilliant Ronaldinho is. And as he has done so often for so many teams in the past, puts his side 1-0 up. And actually, in terms of the match stats, Pelham was streets ahead of the Alcatraz, despite what the text said. Very little of the ball for the forwards for Pelham, but they'll not be bothered because they're 1-0 up. And the match stats kind of say it was deserved. Over at the Alcatraz, that's a 5 for Zambrotta. It's a surprising 5 for Zambrotta. He has been pretty solid so far. David's into the book. There's no substitutions that apply for Hopkins, so we will not make any changes for him unless he pops up in the chat. And then back over to Pelham, and we'll see if they want to make any changes. Can you give me a nudge on any transfers I need to process between GWs, lads? It's an as is from Dimble, so we will rock until 60. And we'll see if Pelham can get the second, and they do. And generally speaking, when Pelham see that Montella and Ronaldinho have scored a goal, they know they're pretty much nailed on for the win. Ah, yes, because you need to bring Lawson on as a sub, Jens. I have seen that one, mate, yeah. Thank you. It's unlikely Dimble will do anything. Maybe Vogel will come off for Agahawa or Donati. Just to protect him against going down to 10 men, I think. But we shall see. I can't even chat about any football because the international break shit. I'm not seeing anything. Not seeing anything from Dims at 60. Pats for Kaladze and Roll. Kaladze, who of course, yeah, it is really, really balanced. Really, really balanced. And obviously, if Joey Cole was in there, you'd be flying with that, wouldn't you? Really like the looks of Ortega and Joey Cole feeding Saviola and Montella as we get to 60 minutes. Yeah, he's weird Tato, but he's the type of player that Dimble gets to work. Do you know what I mean? You look at him and you think, yeah, Dimble's getting 7 goals and 5 assists off him across a 20-game season or whatever. Bizarre that, innit? 90 minutes, Alcatraz offering very little. Brozic into the book. Saviola handballs. Ortega tries to get it in. And Nicky Franco gets a consolation. And he probably could have done with doing that much earlier in the game, as Bishkan has been infected by Zambrotta's 6, 5 at half time, who turns into a 6. Over at Pelham, Montella with the man of the match performance. 7s and 8s scattered in there, Vogel on a booking. And the match stats kind of tell you it was deserved from Pelham. Well played Dimmels and unlucky Hopkins. We get over to the Vikings against Domingos. Let's do me against Scotty now. We go over to the Dandies, who do switch it up a little bit and try and be a little bit experimental tonight with a backwards arrow on Sheva. Baron in there, kind of fist bumping in the middle. Dandies who've been okay, bit like Pelham really. They've been a bit above okay, but not quite as good as we would like. Kind of win one, lose one, that sort of thing. But they do find themselves in 4th at the minute. Here it is. This is the Boyo. This is probably my favourite home save formation. Obviously, kind of under the hood individual tactics aside, this is my favourite home save formation. Absolutely dominates, and I'm really keen to see how this gets on in the All-Stars. Best of luck, Scotty, mate, as we get the game underway. Scotty did post a comment in the chat earlier on saying he was worried about kind of getting done down the wings. But we'll see. Equally, that formation can absolutely do people through the middle. Jeremy's goes into the book. Is that going to be Jeremy's sending off? Next to Berea with a chance. A local fire doing what narrow formations do tend to do. And there is Landon Donovan with his first ever goal for the local fire. This is what narrow formations do. Dominate the ball, create chances, especially with those 3 AMCs. And the local fire find themselves up at half time for probably the first time this season. Second time this season, actually. 6s and 7s for the local fire. Not sure if Scott, you'll be wanting to change anything there. No bookings, no conditions wise to worry about. And a hell of a lot of bookings for the Dandies. That Jeremy's yellow card is absolutely a worry, and just nothing being offered from those boys up there. So we'll go Konstantin for Shevchenko, and we'll go Archie back for Constantinu, and we'll go Ronaldo for Crespo. And it's a roll from Scotty Dog, as we will go to 60. Can the Dandies create and take a chance? Chiotis lets it run free there. Could have quite easily been 2-0 there. Oh, Archie back draws a double save. Dandies now just creating a little bit more. 58 minutes played. It's a booking for Walter Samwell. We get to 60 minutes. Tudor could have put his team 2-0 up. And look at all those bookings starting to stack up now for the Dandies. Over at the local fire, really, really solid away performance. Really, really solid away ratings. 7s, 8s, and 6s. And Southgate and Decor not really giving them anything to worry about because they've still got the clean sheet intact. Let me know if you want to make any changes there, Scotty, as we just have a look at ours. We will go. What can we do? Yeah, we've got very little on offer. We'll go Michelini for Veron, drop Michelini back, switch that with that, and we'll go like that. And we'll see what Scotty wants to do. Red for Exeter Berea. Move to the left. Donovan centre, Jack's right. And that's it. There we go. Excellent. Okay, as we go to full time. Dandies, of course, only need the 1 goal to get back into it. If they were to get back into it, then it would go to extra time. But this narrow formation just creates chances for fun. As again, the local fire do continue to create more now. Maybe those arrows just opening up a few more spaces. Oh, and Sorochinsky. Dandies have pulled level really early on. Donovan could have ended it. And for about the 3rd time this season, the local fire find themselves potentially chucking away 3 points. We will go to extra time golden goal. And Dacour has plummeted to a 5. And we'll see what Scotty wants to do. The Dandies have pulled themselves back into this game, having really made a suite of changes at the 60-minute mark. And the bookings still stand, so the Dannies will just settle these arrows down a little bit, I think. And we'll see what Scotty wants to do. Literally one bit of text away from having got the win. Look, I've had shit luck over the last couple of weeks. And we'll roll. Remember, there's no more changes from this point on, and the golden goal will get it. Donovan. Ronaldo's effort wide. Both teams really going for this here. 100 yards. Oh, Torres draws a double save. As the El Local Fire have created a hell of a lot, as we do see with Narrow. The offers that weren't good enough for Shevchenko. Scotty probably made his. Yeah, did mate. Yeah, I made your changes. Welsh to go for Welsh. Cabello for Jacques. There you go. Scotty made us an offer of Ambrosini and Ambrosini. I can't remember the other one, but I'd already started with Ambrosini, so I didn't really fancy him again. Rob Sloth is offering us Gattuso. Obviously, you had a chat to us about midfielders, but yeah, nothing beyond that. And they do share the spoils in the Central Division. And Ambrosini and Viduka, that was it, Scotty. Yeah, mate. If I hadn't have started with Ambrosini as a draft player, I probably would have went for it. Dante's have got away from what for one there with one there. Really important point given that the local Fire are in their division, and they did get away with one. So unlucky, Scotty, mate. That luck will turn. Over at the Bisons against the Vikings. Was this last season's final? Was it? Was it last season's final? Someone tell us if it was last season's final. Yeah, anyway, over at the Bisons. They bring in Sosa for Anelga, who is on his way out the door. But otherwise, it's an expected formation from the Bisons. Over at the Vikings, who will probably be getting Henrik Larsson onto the pitch so that he can go for Justin Walker. Where we at? There we go. Best of luck, boys. This is a big opportunity for Jens to really lay down a marker as we go into the game with the worst away kit. We've seen a good one. We've seen a shit one now. As we crack on. As a really good offer for Sheva comes in from Kitchen Dan. Van Nistelrooy has put his team 1-0 ahead. So good was the offer. I say good. It was a very, very good offer. And Mr. Goal, Van Nistelrooy continues his good form this season. 4 from 5 now is 5 from 6. And as Vikings and Bison's games usually are, it's a bit of a tactical stalemate with the Vikings just edging it at the minute. Bisons haven't really hit the heights of last season, but the bar was set so high that actually that was going to be pretty nigh on difficult to do. As we get to half time, Jens is around, but I haven't seen him in a couple of clicks. As is still 60, thank you very much, Jens, my man. And Tato, if you just let me know what you want to do there. Not a particularly great bench from Bisons, but a very Tato-y bench. Very kind of like old school Asta bench that. Give Pierre a run second half, please, so I can come off. Excellent. And we'll go as is still 60. Thank you very much for the promptness there, boys. 49 minutes. As we get to 50 minutes. Simkoviak, who's been very quiet for the Vikings since he came back to the club. 69 minutes we jump to. Beckham's caught offside. Stam takes the free kick. Tomazzi intercepts. We're probably on the verge of seeing the push up into MC with the long arrows on Giggs and Beckham, I think. I think that is imminent from Tato. Over at the Vikings, well, now is the time to do that change, Jens, because Roy Mackay, who you said it was probably going to be for, is offering absolutely fuck all. And there we go. Extend winger arrows, and that's all. So it doesn't push the midfielders up. Tato definitely getting a sense that he's dominating the second half. Did feel Bison's heavy there in the text, to be honest, since the half time. And we'll just wait for Jens to confirm that what's probably going to be a Roy Mackay for Larson coming on. And we'll see what he wants to do. Jens, mate, just in case YouTube's been shit, nothing's came through yet. Just give you a couple of seconds. Yeah, Jens, still nothing's come through there, bud. So I don't know if you want to WhatsApp. Oh, there we go. There we go. Cheers, bud. Larson for Mackay. Drop Vieira back to DM. CR. Arrow on Pekov and Vieira. Vieira back to DMCR. Arrow on Petkov and Vieira. See, down for Sism, so that's dead straightforward. Ah, okay. Okay, sorry. So that. Yeah, brilliant. Yep, Jens. Cheers, mate. Central mid with no arrow, like that. A bit of a Roxy 5 across the middle, mate, yeah? Got it as soon as you said the 3 DMCs there, bud. Cheers for the clarity. And I just moved them back to where he was so the instructions didn't shift as well. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And of course, Tato has extended the winger arrows to try and get those two. Oh, and there it is. Rossini has scored. First goal of the season. It has been a quiet start. Here come the crosses. Here comes the aerial bombardment. Like an invasion of Baghdad. The bombs are going to rain, I think, as we get to our second one. But there's Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy, who has been so good for Jens, makes that 6 from 6. And there is Pierre. There is Pierre. What a game this is. Sprung to life. The Vikings with very little chances compared to the Bisons, but actually what a game this is from two top teams. As Van Nistelrooy is on a hat-trick. Jens would have absolutely thought he was going to win it there. Rossini with his first goal of the season with a goal and assist. This is football. This is football. Yeah, like a fucking B-52 bomb on this Bison side. Over to the Vikings. We'll see what they want to do. Jens did shift a little bit and kind of, maybe that's just invited a little bit of pressure. Pick of the games tonight, I think this is. Good game to finish with. And we'll see what the Viking wants to do here. Red wine inspired Vikings tonight. If I was to give you a tenner in the chat, what are you putting it on? What are you putting it on? Vikings win. Draw after 90 minutes. Draw after 120 maybe. As is from Jens. As is from Tato. And we will roll to... Yeah, sorry. Cheers. Thank you. Missed that. Cheers, boys. 93 minutes played. Is the Van Nistelrooy hat-trick going to do? Rossini misses the double chance. Rossini could have put his side into the win there. And we will roll. Van Nistelrooy had a hat-trick incoming, I think. See Dan whipping it in. See Dan again. Foul on Van Nistelrooy. See Dan whips it in. 20 set pieces. Van Nistelrooy! He only just had the keeper to beat. He could have made it 7 and 6. It didn't come through in the text, but if anybody watches that back, Van Nistelrooy only had the keeper to beat was the text that I'd seen. Great game, pick of the bunch, and a point deserved to be shared. That does bring us to the classified. Drivetrain with a big win over the Memphis Rains, 1-0. Bisons and Vikings, we've just seen 2-2. El Local Fire and the Dandies, ones each. Dandies got away with one there. El Local Fire, much improved. 2-1 Pelham to Alcatraz. It was stronger than the scoreline would suggest from Pelham. And Steam Pigs against Gators, 4-1. The free scoring Steam Pigs are back. And Des Moines with a 2-0 victory in horse's name and memory over the Short Pump Sloths. So what we have got is we do just need to do, where we at, Vikings, Larson. Hang on, wrong manager. Where's Dan? Gators. There we go. So it is J Walks. We go to transfer status 0, not needed by the club. And then we'll go Kitchen Dan into the Vikings. Make a bid for, where's he at? Lawson. Approach the buy. 0. Exchange. Where's he at? J Walks. There we go. And then we'll jump over to the Vikings. So effects complete. Oh dear. Let's try that again. Let's try again. Over to Jens. We'll do that in reverse. Get us for J-Walks. Push by. Go, then jump over to Gators. Accept. Of a contract. Important first team player. That'll do us. And then over to the Vikings. Important first team player. There we go. That should go through. Do we do Barry Ferguson for Sheva? I tell you what, let's see what people in the chat think. If people say Barry Ferguson for Sheva needs to happen, we will do it. How's Barry Ferguson? He started with Dandy's, the man. Started with him and he did fuck all in MC. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Where we at? Yeah, Scotty, I think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. They're both overrated, aren't they? Although Steve's version of Shevchenko was an absolute blast. Push the buy. Where's Baz Figs? Baz Figs comes home. Having offered fuck all for the sloths. And having offered fuck all for the dandies. Except Ferguson, indispensable. Yep, there we go. Short pump. Indispensable. There we go. I think that's a bit of a fair deal, Rob. Pleasure doing business with you, mate, as always. See if we get through. Steam Pigs, we've got an Elgar. Confirm. Serginho Alva. Vikings have got Walker. Are we going to see Sheva for Baz Fergs? There we go. Big signing for the Rob Sloth. Lovely. Massively helps out Rob with his AMC problem, I think. Build up praise for Iron. Robin, thanks, manager. Fantastic. Okay, and here we are. So, we'll come to the dandies last. Des Moines Demons aren't going to make any changes. Hopkins isn't live and doesn't need to make any because he's got no condition issues. Vikings, first of all, let's just do a little pack for the Vikings. Jens, if you're there, my man. No condition issues. Justin Walker is in your squad in the red and blue of the Vikings. We will just jump over to the Gators. Dan, this is how you look, my man. Sorry, Dan, I know you made an offer of a really good offer for Shevchenko, but it was that MC position that I was desperate for alongside Baron. However, I am open to discussions about the player you offered. If there's anything I can offer. There's your pack, bud. Over to Pelham. Nothing to worry about. I know Dimble's been a little bit poorly the last couple of days, so Joey Cole is just a touch away from full fitness. But it does come from, let's go back to Vikings there. What was that? Walker for Simkoviak. Simkoviak on the bench for the Zidane. And Guerrero, Gurk, fourth sub. Brilliant. Back to the Gators. Enrique Fodoni. Lawson on the bench. Brilliant. And Dims goes as is. This is class, lads. Well done. Appreciate the speed. This is fucking like a well-oiled machine, this. Over at the drivetrain, we've got Uliano still on a orange injury. Scally's still not 100% fit. Probably an as is from Scalzi thinking it needs more squad depth. Probably an as is from Savage, I would imagine. I can't see anything jumping out for. Over at the Memphis Reigns, absolutely bang on, although Montero is back. Montero is back, so if Rocks doesn't pop up, I will put in Kufra for Montero and Melito as the sub, because that is just a Rocks would absolutely do that every day of the week. So we'll just do that, and if he pops up to see otherwise, we'll do that. Rob Sloth has got a couple of decisions to make. Ooh, what have I just done there? 2 seconds, Rob. I just unselected your centre half there, mate. So I'll come back to you. Couple of decisions to make, formation wise. So I'm guessing, Rob, you're going to go arrows maybe. But yeah, it's Iola really is your big issue. Ferdinand was your other DM. What is your other DC? Sheva in the hole for Guerrero. Oh, not as a DMC, as an AMC. Sheva in the hole for Guerrero. Lovely. Costa in for Ayala. And Kerr in MC. Fantastic, Rob. Appreciate the swiftness and clarity with that. Just let us know who your second sub is there, mate, and I'll come back to it. Over at the local Fire, who I can't believe will make any changes after that performance against the Dandies, really. That's how they're looking, pack-wise. Have a quick look, Scotty, see what you think. Over at the Steam Pigs. Lizarazi on an orange. Probably going to move Totti to that ML position, given how effective he was. Someone into MC. And a local Fire are going to go for Welsh for Decour. And done. Brilliant, Scotty. Appreciate that, mate. Rob, if you can just let me know who that second and third sub is for you. Is Nelgar unhappy? Where's he just signed for? Steve. So Anelka has been sold for Serginho and Alba, and he's unhappy that the player that was sold to get him has been sold by Steam Pigs. That is fucking peak Anelka, that. Oh, thank you. Let me just check that. Welsh instead of West. Yeah, I did. Well spotted, Jens. Where's Welsh? He's further up, that's why. Welsh. Yeah. Cheers. Thank you, bud. Welsh in for Decour. So just let us know. There we go. Perfect. Thank you, boys. Appreciate your eyes. That is class from an Elgar. That is hang it in the Louvre. That's peak an Elgar. Unbelievable. Rob Sloth is but in for Kerr. Kerr on the bench. Shivu also. Excellent. Cheers, Rob. Appreciate your patience, boys. Over to Stee. So Stee is going to go Totti to ML. Imot to MC. Yeah, expected, really. Emerson MC. And then on the bench. That is fucking brilliant, that. And the fact that Stee as well is just unbelievable. And then finally, the Bison's Turam still out for 2 months. Here is your pack. I am guessing we're going to see Pia in for Sosa. Yeah, there we go. Pia in for Sosa. Sosa back to the Rezzies. Elbet on the bench, please. There we go. All right then, boys. I think, other than myself, which will just be a quick change, which will be that and that. And where's my other MC? Where's Pacifics? There we go. And There we go. Yeah, so if everyone's happy, we will rock, boys. I think we are good to go. And we will start with Dandy's Bisons. Just because if I've made any errors and anybody needs to change anything, then at least it's my game that's got the breathing space over at the Bisons. So we've seen Rossini come back in. The Tato Doug derby, which is always decent and entertaining. Best of luck, Tato, my man, and we'll see how we get on. Oh, is it Elias? Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. Oh, yes. There's very little champ things I can lay claim to, but bringing Elias to the fore as a top DMC is one of them, and he repays it there. I'm guessing it's that, Tato. Just let me know, my man. Centralise and remove arrows, excellent. We won't make any changes, but the Bisons do have a decent record of getting results with 10 men. Oh, Bas Ferguson with a chance on debut as we get Beckham picking up where we left off last game, and whipping the balls, and Rossini with 2 chances back to back. Bisons with 10, but actually dominating. Oh, and there is Archie back, coming back into EMC. Just did not feel right having a Duggan side with Archie back on the bench. Hence the reason why we look to sell Shevchenko back with another chance there. Beckham now. Chiotis just tips it over the bar. Beckham almost got lucky with that. Yeah, it's an unbelievable DMC line. It's no wonder he's doing amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably the best DMC line I've ever seen in competitive chop, to be honest with you. We're not going to make any changes. Over at the Bisons, Ian Robin is on a 5. Couple of 6s in there, but definitely hampered by the man deficit. And we'll see if Tato wants to do anything about it. And it is a case that the other 2 DMCs are that good that you can't get away with without the Elias. We'll see if Tato wants to make any changes at half time. Is he going to pump those arrows on? Haven't seen anything come through for me, Tato, mate. So just going to give you a little bit longer, given that you're playing against me, as is from Spud. Brilliant. And we'll get to 60 minutes. Second goal is going to be absolutely massive in this game. Bas Ferguson in the book. Are we going to get 2 red cards in this? 51 minutes played. Free kick to Dandies. Campbell's unable to control it. 64 minutes played there. Crespo on the edge of space. And Veron gets the rebound but doesn't put it in. Barry Ferguson on a booking there for the Dandies. But again, we're going to stay as is. We look pretty all right from 45 to 60 minutes there. Over to the Bisons, who may be forced into some changes, although there's not much you would change given the bench you've got. Maybe Elbert for Pierre on debut, probably. But we shall see what Tato wants to do. Condition is a myth in the eyes of the Spuds, but we'll show him it anyway. And what I'll do is, as just the other games get set up, I'll just give people a quick glance of their tactic files, just making sure everybody's happy. Extended winger arrows to Matsi to MC and centralising Dye. Rossini off for Elbert. Here comes the charge of the Light Brigade. Like that, Tato? Wow. Love the fucking ballsiness of that. Just confirm you're happy with that, my man. Brilliant. And we roll to 60. And what is a really interesting matchup now, given that Bisons are chasing the win and nothing else. That is ultimately what they're in here for. Archie back with a double chance. Will they regret that move and miss? Tactical booking there for the Dandies. 3 minutes to play. Veron, Crespo, Giggs was offside. 93 minutes. Crespo puts it over, and that is a massive win for the Dandies. Given Bisons absolutely went for it and probably opened the game up more than they otherwise would. It's a really solid performance from the Dandies, but cannot be disputed that losing Elias as one of those 3 tacklers in the DMC line was a massive deficit for Tato to overcome Sana and Dye with the man of the match performance. We'll not worry too much about the Demons as a Torsi's team, but we will just get Demons and Alcatraz out of the way early in this second round of fixtures because neither manager is here for very different reasons. And we'll see if wouldn't it be quite fitting for the horse if the Demons managed to go 6 from 6 in his memory. But it is Nicky Franco, who I think was brilliant against Pelham. Brilliant against Pelham last game, but really didn't do anything of note other than that late goal. And it is Paolo Maldini who is still doing bits. What a player he is. Alcatraz finding their shooting boots and finding their finishing. And they do go 2-0 up at half time. We won't make any changes in the interest of fairness in the rest of the league, but we will rock to 90 minutes. No need to stop at 60 unless anything significant happens. Maxim Segalgo with a chance there. He haunted me and Hopkins for many a season in the Super League, but hasn't done anything yet tonight. And we do get a full time quite quickly, and the Alcatraz pick up the 3 points. They haven't got man of the match, although that's really this one is neither. No one at the helm, just an empty seat. Kieran Dyer with a man of the match performance. All of the horsey players coming out to do him proud in his memory. Well done, Hopkins, and unlucky whoever the manager of Des Moines is. Over at the Pelham Pumas, Dimble, I'll just whip that up for you, mate. Just make sure you're absolutely happy with that, bud. Pelham Pumas looking to go from 2 from 2 tonight would be massive. Every point precious in this league, but 6 points from 6 is phenomenal. Savage just saying that formation switch from Tato was very, very all-stars. It was indeed. It was indeed. Death or glory or all-stars. So I'll just give you a couple of seconds just to see that come through. Kovalchuk is still there, Jens. He's been okay. He hasn't been seen as much as we perhaps thought. But when you look at the fact that Dims has got Vogel, Petit, Kaladze in there, and Pats as well, it's probably unlikely you would be seeing much of him. Over at the drivetrain, Sav, if you can just confirm, my man, just that you're happy with all that, bud, on your bench. And we will go. How's Robbie Keane looking? Phenomenal and a bit shit there, but you can get away with that at the MC, can't you? So yes, Sav, if you can just give us the nudge, mate, that'd be great. As I'm going to opt against a second bottle of beer. Sorry, a third bottle of beer on a school night. Otherwise, I will regret that in the morning. Yeah, brilliant, lovely, and best of luck to both. Again, another big game where either side could really kill. Both sides won their first game. Drivetrain beating Memphis Reigns and Pelham beating Alcatraz, and both sides looking to go 6 from 6 here tonight, which would be massive. Henri again. Henri has been so good for the drivetrain, like phenomenally good for the drivetrain. 45 minutes played. Ronaldinho hits the post and then goes out of play just on half time. Again, all of these games in the All Stars are always so close. Dimble just struggling to create anything. We saw that if Montella and Ronaldinho were on the score sheet last game, then you'd expect them to win. Nobody on the score sheet as of yet. Jenna Cheddar into the book on a 6. And again, it's only really Thierry Henry that's putting himself about in that final third with the one shot. Manavikia has had a shot, and so has Rikoba. See what either manager wants to do, but I guess this will be a case of neither wanting to blink too early, although maybe Jenna Cheddar versus Ronaldinho in that DMC EMC matchup with the booking is a little bit of a worry. And the Pumas can do this for a half, just coast through a half and not really offer anything and then kick into gear. Both managers going as is. I appreciate the speediness of that, lads. 46 minutes played. There is Danielson. And there is Ronaldinho. Oh, Saviola straight offside. As Savage confirms, it is a huge worry. Ortega puts it over the bar. We get a 58, so we'll do the 60 now. Gianna Cheddar again on a 7. Again on a booking rather, but it's gone up to a 7. Conditions-wise, nothing to worry about. I would be very surprised if you were to see any changes from Sav, given that this is away against the top manager on the top side. But we shall see if he does. And the Pelham boys are on 8s and 6s and 7s. Might we see Agahawa on the ML position? I think that could be coming. Danielson on a 7, but just, you're never really assured that he's going to create much. Really functional player, but not a match winner. He says as famous last words. Tomad for Sav. That is all. How's Tomad looking? Yeah, we'll have a bit of that. And we'll go to the drivetrain. Rakoba for Keane. Rakoba's name who was, but that was mentioned in the chat quite a bit there. Edmundo for Scholes. Keep the arrows. Rakoba for Keane. Edmundo for Scholes. Keep the arrows. Robbie Keane at MC. Sav, is that right? Just confirm that, bud. Rakoba for Keane. Edmundo for Scholes. Keep the arrows. I'm not seeing that confirmation come through, Sav. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, cheers, bud. Appreciate that, mate. Just to make sure they went through. Lovely. Thank you very much. 58 minutes played. Who is going to be the player to get the goal and the 3 points for their team? Kaladze goes into the book. Thierry Henry is going to be there or thereabouts, isn't he? Indirect free kick. Rivaldo whips it in. Danielson. What has Ronaldinho got in the locker? Are we going to get a Tamad late goal? Henry offside. Last chance. End of 90 minutes. We do get to 90 minutes. And it's a stalemate, about as close as you can get to a stalemate, possibly, in Champ. Cheddar again is on that booking, but he's got up to an 8, so he's doing his part of the deal against Ronaldinho. Lads, I'm not going to click on the tactic file. If you can just let us know from this screen what you want to do, and then I'll make changes if needed. And then over to Pelham, that you think have probably got the better bench to go and win this in Agahawa and Donati as kind of attacking players. But we don't know. And is this another drivetrain extra time? So they lost that late in extra time. That was normal time. That was normal time, but late. That was extra time. That was late. Henri 86 is fast, and that was extra time. Wow, is that three of the first 7 games that have went to extra time for Savage, and he's won 2 of them out of 3. So Dimble is going to go Agahawa for Danielson. That is a quite frankly bizarre, but like impressively bizarre record from Sav. Henri 86 is a shirt, I think. Moved to okay. Del Vecchio and Edmundo back to AMC. No arrows. Keane with arrow to striker and done. Sav, if you can just confirm that, mate. And how does that look on the without ball thing? I like that. Look at that little gap there. Yeah. The counter attack is on. Brilliant. And Dimble has went Agahawa for Danielson and roll. As we see who can get the extra 10 golden goal. Ortega goes in the back. Rivaldo with a chance. Yeah, death or glory, mate. It's the All-Stars way, isn't it? Tomadira could have got the winner. 98 minutes played. Both managers, would they take a point right now? I bet they would. Ronaldinho, every time his name gets mentioned, Savage's arse just flutters a little bit. 9 shots now. They've managed 3 since full time. As we get to the 120 mark, we've jumped massively from 105 to 118 there. Is there one clear chance? Henri with a massive save from Sander Westerveld. And Robbie Keane with his first ever goal for the drivetrain out of absolutely nowhere. The CC took the ball out of defence, played it long. Montella handball. Nesta bombed in the free kick. And Robbie Keane beat Sander Westerveld. Sander Westerveld, who was absolutely massive, by the way. Must have been about 6'4", 6'5". And Keane, who's average, beats him to the header. And the drivetrain, again, leave it late. with an extra time goal. That is 4 out of 5 of the first 7 games, and 3 of them have went Savage's way. Unbelievable. Unlucky Dims. There's your stats. Man of the match performance for Kaladze. And there's your stats for Drivetrain. We go over to the Gators against the Vikings. Kitchen Dan, haven't seen you since the first game, so I'll just give you a little while just to have a little look. And if you can just give us a nudge that that's bang on. In the meantime, we'll go over to Jens. Jens, if you can just give me a nudge that that's all right. And in the absence, brilliant, Dan. Cheers, mate. I appreciate that, bud. So let's just progress it with Gators. Brilliant, Jens. Thank you. I appreciate that, mate. Best of luck to both as they look to, well, Gators looked, and there is Petkov really early on, a former Kitchen Dan favourite, by the way. I think he brought him in at Gazelles, and he was brilliant at Gazelles. Gators, of course, looking to overturn, and there is Roy Mackay, 2-0. Oh, the Gators just slipping back in their old form, and there is Deddy, 3-0. Wow. And Starman at the book. Cannavaro with a free kick. Half time. Vikings have just done an absolute masterclass in finishing there. 3-0 at the half with Petkov. That'll hurt Dan. He really did bring him in at Gazelles. And he did bits for him. 8s and 7s, and the app stand went into the book. The only concern over at the Gators, though, and bar a Simeone 5, it doesn't look disastrous. Faith maintained with Marcos in goal after his 5 last game, but he does let 3 goals in from 4 on target. Stick to 60. Both managers go until 60. 47 minutes played. Cannavaro into the boot now. Both centre halves for the Vikings into the book. Brugink with a chance. Has he got his team back into it? 57 minutes played. Mourinho goes into the book now. 64 minutes played. We do click. And we do get to the 65-minute mark. Cannavaro and Stam both into the book. Yep, Stam on a 6. Everybody else apart from Ruth on above a 6, with a couple of 9s in there from Jens. Over the Gators, and again, it's probably just that Simeone 5 that's really standing out. There's nothing massive about that would tell you they were 3-1 down, but Mpenza and Kluivert continue to struggle. Mpenza's been okay. Kluivert's been slightly better, but it doesn't really feel like they've been massive for the Gators in the same way that, say, Elbert has or Rossini has. Lawson coming on against his former club. Lawson for Kluivert. Lawson for Kluivert. Riquelme for Petrov. Riquelme for Petrov. Lawson for Kluivert. Riquelme for Petrov. Lovely. And then the Viens-led Vikings are going Neville for Stam, getting that 6 in the booking. Looks a little bit of a liability. And Gurk, Antonoli Gurk, who Jens was bigging up in the WhatsApp for Roy Mackay. And we'll roll until 90. And the Vikings would be worried if the Gators were to get another one. Van Nistelrooy, who's offered nothing this game after being very good last game, does try and get involved. Riquelme trying to get something going. Fouled there twice on the bounce. And it is Gurk. Oh, that would have been a debut on. Oh, that's not what Dan wants to see. That's not what Dan wants to see. He's backed Kluivert and Mpenza, and he's got 1 off on 60 and one injured. Gators are really struggling at the minute. There's just creeping signs of that form from last season. And we'll see what Dan wants to do on 87. Guessing Brugink will maybe go up top. Riquelme, defensive midfielder maybe. So something like Guardiola for Mpenza. Brugink goes up top. Riquelme goes in there, and Guardiola goes in there. Pep for Mpenza. Yeah, exactly. Pep for Mpenza. Move Brugink up, and then yeah, makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense as we get to the conclusion of the game. and a final whistle happens. And the Vikings do turn out 3-1 winners there tonight in what is a closer game than the scoreline would indicate. But the Vikings were just absolutely clinical, and it is a man of the match performance for Paddy Vieira with an 8 over at the Gators. Not bad ratings, but just not very good, and maybe a few tweaks in the system to be made by the Gators. Over to the Steam Pigs against their local fire with a Nicholas Anelka who is already unhappy on the bench. Steve, if you're around, mate, let me just check your subs. If I can scroll up. If not, if you can beat us to it, on the bench, Emerson MC. Right, so if you can just let me know, Steve, if you're there, mate. I know you're busy with the boy. If you are about, if you just let us know who your second sub is, and we'll just jump over to Scotty and check that he's happy with that. Scotty, there's yours, my man. You all happy with that? Welsh and not West in to DMC and Dakur onto the bench. Pretty confident in that one, but if you can just give me a nudge, lads, we'll give you 30 seconds just to confirm. All good for Scotty Bostock. And I think Steve Mace may be engaged with the boyo. So we will just go and we will put, what has he got on the bench? He's got DMC, MC, he hasn't got a centre half, so we'll go centre half, I think. Wes Brown is always a safe bet for Steve. Best of luck to both, and we'll see if the local Fire boys are going to dominate again. Van Bommel injured. Does feel like there's an awful lot of injuries around at the minute. I think in that sitting DMC position, Steve would go Addo instead of Van Bommel. But I will just give him 30 seconds to decide what he wants to do. Lovely. Is that all good for Addo, mate, on for Van Bommel? You happy with that? Oh, Zanoni? Okay, lovely. Fantastic. Cheers. I'm glad you were able to get your man on there. Perfect. And quite an early injury that, but it doesn't disrupt the system too much. Zanoni, who is a Steve Wright favourite. Steam Pigs, of course, ran out 4-1 winners. Frustration kicking the ball away, booking for Totti for descent in that ML position. Free kick to a local fire. So the Steam Pigs picking up the bookings now. Leon Pure puts it over the bar. Very, very, very 50-50 this. No real side having any of the text for a prolonged period of time. Feels like half a bit of possession and half a bit of possession. Another booking. Is this a derby? It's a bit aggy this. 2 for the Steam Pigs, 2 bookings for the Steam Pigs. Sorry, match stats, boys. Again, 50-50 is the kind of text indicated. Klompe and Totti into the book. 6 for Van Bommel, but he was subbed. And over at the local Fire boys, and again, Boya just really not turning up for the logo and doing what we know he's capable of. Although Scotty is definitely of the opinion that all MCs are shit, as are me and Tato. So we'll just see what Steam Pigs want to do. Little arrow on him, or maybe no, he goes as is. And over to the local Fire. Both managers really, really prompt with their changes, as I'm going to sneeze. Apologies, boys. I think I managed to mute my microphone in time. 52 minutes played, 54 minutes played. Frey with a couple of big saves. Torres with a half a chance. 57 minutes played. Oh, Shearer was clean through on goal, but it's the big Scotty Bostock keeper of Andre who makes the save. And 9 for Milevski in that sitting position. Steve Wright does know his onions. Nothing massively standing out in terms of performances. Cheers, Savage, mate. I appreciate that. Thank you. For it's almost like a simp thing of you giving us permission to sneeze, mate. It's a little bit post watershed that. And over to the logo. 6 for Tudor, 7 for Boya, and an 8 for LYP. Nothing to worry about conditions wise. Steer rate goes as is. Verduga for extra Berea. So Torres, that'll do. And we'll get to the 90-minute mark. Scotty has tried that kind of Torres in AMC position before. I had a belt in Atletico Madrid save once upon a time with Torres as an AMC, and he was absolutely brilliant. But this is competitive champion. It is the All-Stars. And of course, he is playing against that DMC line of Milevski. And there is Lee Boya. Is it a late show for a local fire? Are they going to get a massive win here? Zanoni with a half a chance puts it wide. Imar can't miss. And again, for the second game on the bounce, probably the third, fourth game in about 7 or 8, the local fire conceded in the 90th minute. It's a bit nuts, that, Scotty, mate. I'm really sorry. There's your ratings as we go into extra time. Yes, Savage. It would have been. Oh, that you were going to punish us for letting it out, mate. Yeah, it would have been worse. Steam Pig's individual ratings look better. Yeah, Scotty there. What do I have to do? Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. And there, you've even got sympathy from Jens, and Jens has a bit of a heart of glass, to be honest, mate. So he or a heart of stone, rather. It takes a lot for him to have sympathy for any fucker, to be honest. Riyadh for Donovan. And Steve, if you let me know what you want to do there, bud. We're going to say Eric Addo maybe for Emerson. Shearer's been quiet tonight. Had that double chance in the first half, but he is on a 9. I'll just give Steve about 10-15 seconds or so just to decide what he wants to do. If not, he will roll. He will roll. And the local fire were the better team last game against the Dandies, but couldn't get the winner. And it is a long overdue Lee Young Pure winner in extra time for the local fire. And I'm guessing Steele not be too away from Scotty geographically, and he probably heard the screams of delight from the local fire boys getting that over the line. Well, and Scotty, I don't think anybody's going to begrudge you that, mate, because fuck me, you've had a bad run. Steam Pigs ratings, not bad at all, bar Van Bammel, who went off, and that is probably just one that Steve has to chalk off to one of those. Really good game though, lads, well done. Last game of the night and of the double header, and we've managed to do a double header game week in about 2/3 of the time that a normal stream of Super League takes. So there is something. Over to the short pump slots, who Shevchenko comes in for debut. And the Memphis Rains, we do just move Montero back in for Kufri with him on the bench. As we kick off, I haven't seen Rob in a little while, but appreciate he's up super early for work. So we'll just keep an eye at half time and see if we see Scotty, but we're definitely not going to see Roxy. As we see who's going to end this double header. It's a penalty, and Oliver Kahn with a red card, and fuck me, Rob Sloth has got no luck. Shevchenko into the boot with a 6 on debut. What do we do here? What do we do here? I think it's got to be Del Piero. He's not hooking Shevchenko on debut, is he? Never. I will just give him 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds or so. If anybody has any suggestions of what we should be doing instead of that. Posted without comment. Well, he's technically he's made an appearance now, Savage. So he is available on the market. Although Kitchen Dan might want to tap him up because it was Buffon that Dan offered me for Sheva. I am going to go for it because we haven't seen Rob, and that's been a good minute or so there. If he does pop up, I'm sorry, Robert, but we did give you a little bit of a chance there. Memphis Rains, don't think Rocks would have been making any changes. So we will roll. And it is Amanatidis who does get the ball in the back of the net for the high flying Rains. Although they were beat last game out by the drivetrain, so they do need to bounce back. Ferdinand at the book again. Surely he's due a suspension soon. And George Jatos goes into the book. 33 minutes played. Vieri now puts the game to bed. Surely that is it. 2-0 as we march towards half time. And as an infamous bald man used to say in the Super League, sloths are falling apart again. Dominant 3-0 half time, and the short pump sloths have been absolutely pumped as Charlie Chaos, as he's so affectionately known, is doing bits for the Memphis Rains. Salas on a 5 has his steam run out. He was phenomenal last season, but really not offering much. We will go to 90 minutes unless Rob Sloth pops up, and if he does pop up, we will make whatever changes he suggests when it comes. De Alessandro with a half a chance. Shevchenko tried to get in on the rebound. Would it be a little bit of a consolation if Shevchenko was to do something in his debut? And there is Harry Kuehl. And the Memphis Rains are back to their best. Salas again with a missed chance. Alaphotropoulos saves it. 3 minutes on, 92 minutes played. That is about as dominant a win you're going to get in the All-Stars. 4-0 full time. And that takes it to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 defeats on the spin for Rob Sloth in the All-Stars. That brings us to the end of the double header. And we had the Dandies who ran out 1-0 winners against the 10-men Bisons. Alcatraz who defeated the managerless Des Moines Demons. We will be trying to get a manager in place ahead of Sunday, lads. Vikings comprehensively beat the Gators 3-1. Drivetrain with another late show. Robbie Keane with his first goal for the club in 120 minutes of time. Memphis Rains comprehensively beat Short Pump Sloths 4-0. And the El Loco Fire getting a much needed and probably much deserved over the last couple of weeks winner late on. Leaves the league's tables like this. In the Eastern Conference, it is Drivetrain with 6 from 8 on 18 points. That is massive this early on. Memphis Rains do drop back to second in 15, but they do have a game in hand. The Bisons in third with 13 points with 8 played, and the Vikings on 13. The Eastern continues to be the most challenging of the conferences, I think it's fair to say. Over at the Central, the Dandies do find themselves top after 8 games with 14 points. Pelham closely behind them on 12 points. Alcatraz on 9, and El Loco Fire suddenly pop up on 7 points, having been 0 from 5 for a long time, as all teams in the Central have played 8 games. Over to the Western Conference, it is yeah, Jens, it's bizarre, mate, isn't it? Let's just pull that back up there. Jens is 4 wins, 2 defeats and 1 draw on 13 points and finds himself bottom of his conference, where he would be top in every other conference bar 1. So you'd be top in the Western. The managerless Des Moines Demons are on 12 points with an even goal difference. Top Steam Pigs second in 9, although they've got a game in hand over the Des Moines. And the Gators, for all they've been pretty poor, still do find themselves on 9 points, only 3 behind the leaders in the Western Conference. And the Short Pump Sloths are on 4 points with 5 defeats on the spin. Fixtures for Sunday night, it will be Kitchen Dan. I'll do packs probably tomorrow or Friday. We've got the Bisons against the Drivetrain, Vikings against the Rains, Dandies against Pelham, and what is a massive game in that conference. The El Loco Fire against Alcatraz. Again, another conference shootout. In fact, every team's playing their compatriots in the conference. So yeah, cheers for the double header, boys. We managed to get through 12 games of champ. 12 teams of champ in just under 90 minutes, which I think is pretty fucking special. So until next time, and from All Stars HQ, see you in a bit, lads.
case, glory's chase, feel the ground shake. You stand tall, never fear the climb. All for one, and it's game time. In the stands, hear the roaring crowds, wearing colors, we're standing proud. 12 teams fight under the spotlight's rays. Glory's night in the all-star blaze. Sweat and toil on this hallowed turf, one will rise,